Be sure to stay tuned until the end of the video. I'm going to be sharing my top 2 tips for what you can do when you think you're hungry. Yes, I said when you think you're hungry. See, today we're talking about the concept behind, am I really hungry or something else? Now, first and foremost, when you get to that moment that you think you're hungry, just simply stop and pause and ask yourself, what else could I have going on here? What else might be going on for me that's making me feel hungry? Let me give you an example. For me, when I'm very heavy in thought, creating, processing, I'm an author. As an author, I'm doing a lot of think work and creative work, working on new content, working on educating myself in different areas. And let me tell you, brain work is exhausting. Way back in the day, I used to be in more physical restaurant manager type roles. And I will tell you, hands down, mental work, for me at least, is by far more hunger pressing than physical work ever was. And I have to tell you, I don't have to tell you, but I am going to tell you that I stay very in tune to when I'm truly hungry versus when I just need a break from the computer. It was interesting. I actually did some studying, and intellectual tasks in multiple studies have been actually shown to increase hunger. In one Canadian study, results showed that the difficult thinking tasks that we cause ourselves in creative work caused big fluctuations in glucose and insulin levels. But you guys, just because it causes that doesn't mean you legitimately need food. So part of why this happens is because the glucose fuels neurons to the brain, which this in turn fluctuations sends hunger signals to your brain. But again, you don't always have to feed those. So first and foremost, just get up and move. Do something active. It can actually help your body and your brain recenter and determine what you actually need and if you actually need food or not. So after you get up, you take a break, you move around a bit. If you're still hungry, the food is still going to be there. So just pause and wait and move forward. And always remember to just slow down before you go to food first. Slow down. And again, ask yourself that question, what else could be going on here? So with that being said, let's talk about a couple of the other things that could be going on when we think we're hungry. Now, number one of the keys are, am I thirsty? It's interesting. And I'm not a brain scientist. I'm not an expert on brain, but in simple terms, I can tell you that your hypothalamus controls both hunger and thirst. So when you're thirsty, your brain could actually be saying, I'm hungry, because your brain is meant to keep you surviving. And your brain is meant to make sure that you have energy. And in that quest for your brain, trying to make sure that your brain and body has energy, you may be interpreting that as I'm hungry, when in all actuality, you are thirsty. So go drink a glass of water. Go drink a glass of water, practice a pause, and see if 10 minutes later that sensation is gone. Now, for me, this next one is a huge one. Am I tired? I can tell you, and I believe, just knowing that the studying I've done on myself, that when I'm in creative work, when I'm in front of my computer a lot, and I am because I do a lot of Zoom meetings with clients, it can be neurologically exhausting. And when that hunger pain comes, it could just be that I just have to go sit and meditate for 10 minutes. Or there may be times that I need a quick siesta. I need a quick 10-minute nap just to recenter and refocus myself. And I truly wasn't hungry at all. I just may have been a bit overwhelmed or mentally exhausted or even physically exhausted that I just need a break. Next up, am I overthinking? Guys, how many times have you been in that repetitive thought that you just naturally want to go to food to get out of it? Finally and lastly, am I emotional? Now, As someone who has been on the food journey for a lot of years, I can tell you, especially in my earliest years, I didn't always catch when I was in an emotional moment that all that hunger pangs were striking. And just taking a step back and asking that question, what's really going on for me here? It can give you clues as to if something emotionally is panging you that you actually need to deal with instead of feeding yourself, literally feeding yourself. So, as promised, what do you do? What do you do when you're feeling those things? First and foremost, like I said early, get up and move. Move your body, laugh. I keep dumbbells and kettlebells in my living room. And I can tell you when I need a break, I'll go hit that kettlebell or I'll go do some invisible jump ropes or I'll hit my dumbbells for a couple minutes. Or I'll go listen to her laugh or do something that causes me a great laugh. And almost every time, those simple acts can cause me to no longer be hungry. Now, if you do all that, you get up, you move, you drink some water, you change your state, you change your physiology to change that mind, and you're still hungry, you may legitimately be hungry. And if you are, what I would recommend is go for the protein first. What we know about protein is it's going to be highly satiating. And especially if it causes you to have slightly over your caloric intake, perhaps it won't impact you as much. So, there you have it for the day. Practice it for yourself. As always, I would love to hear in the comments what works for you and what doesn't so that we can keep tuning you into helping you create your best self. As always, be kind to one another and stay well. Thanks, friends.